Okay, so here we're presenting the most common user issues that we see. And this could be divided in two groups. And the first one would be the error information, last error, saying that the file could not be opened, and with different descriptions and suggestions, which are sometimes helpful, sometimes not that much. And this message appears in ProjectWise and follows a failed Managed Configuration Export process window that we will show you later. And MicroStation doesn't even boot in this case. And the second group would be when the file will start opening in MicroStation, but you'll get the alert error opening file. And the troubleshooting differs a bit between those two groups of issues.
This next slide talks about questions to ask when troubleshooting. And on the left is a screenshot of the Managed Configuration Export process when the Managed Workspace loads and it loads properly. You can note under status column that everything says complete. And some of the questions that we'll ask are, has this previously worked? As Kasia mentioned earlier, if this is a new configuration or someone's configuring part of the Managed Workspace that has never worked, that's not really something that we get too involved in, though we'll try to work on it. And but it's not something that we specialize in. And another question is, does it work for other users? Is the problem just with one user or is it global? And another question is, what changed? Any software updates, configuration changes, reinstallation? When was the last time it was working? We found that sometimes somebody will change something and that's when it stopped working. And this next part, are all parts of the configuration needed? Now, I was working with the user and we were troubleshooting his Managed Workspace. And as we were picking it apart, he noticed, I asked him, what does the CFG do? What does this CFG do? And he didn't know. And I said, well, let's disable it for now. And we disabled it and the Managed Workspace loaded, the file opened, and he was able to have all his tools and able to do his work. So I said, well, let's disable this for now, and then we can just re-enable it if you need it. But for now, if everything seems to be working, there's no reason to keep this part enabled. And so that's what I mean by, are all parts of the configuration needed? And another key question is, who created this Managed Workspace and who's in charge of making changes and updating it? Because sometimes you'll have to go to that person to find out what certain parts of the Managed Workspace does, because some Managed Workspaces are very simple as some can get very complicated.
Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with others. If you want to see more like it, please consider subscribing to this and Bentley's other channels. Thank you, and see you next time.